Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today, we're gonna do the tier list for the end of the year, 2024. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Once again, we're gonna do the tier list. I have a better understanding of the role of many of the characters that I evaluated last times, since now I have all my characters at least at level 81. And that allows me to test them thoroughly. We're gonna do 3 tier lists once again. First of all, for farming, then for normal content, the one where you can create. That's gonna be tower, dailies, event, bonus, all of that. And lastly, we're gonna be doing one more for VR. So let's get started. So the first thing that we have over here is Asagi. Asagi for farming, oh my god. She's suboptimal. Let me explain very quickly why. So, for that I'm gonna do this, and this, and this. So, Asagi has a couple of skills that help her farm. Kojinka is always useful, but it's not dealing damage. It just enables you to deal with the enemies. Senjinka is okay-ish for farming, and Shunshinka is also kind of good for farming, but everything else is not that great. Asagi is a single target character, so she doesn't want to farm, though you're gonna do it at the beginning of the game. So yeah, she's suboptimal, unfortunately. So for the next one, Sakura. She's average. She has really decent tools for farming, but you have to manually farm. Even though she's kind of strong, she's still average, not great. So she has Shadow Clip, which is going to track the enemies, pretty good. Shadow Claw, which has a big AoE and a devastating damage. She also has Shadow Fling, and that's kind of it. Those are the skills that she has. She's only going to use one of these two, and Shadow Fling. And that's if you go pure, because if you go mix, well, you have less options. So yeah, she's strong, but she's lacking in the AoE department and also in the skill. The number of skills is not good enough to be just great. Oof, Yuki. So Yuki has a ton of problems in farming. Basically, it has only one good skill for this, and it's gonna be Rajudan. So yeah, I do not recommend that you use Yuki for farming. She's suboptimal. Rinko. Rinko is pretty decent because she has Meteor on blue, which is it has a really good AoE. She has a Spatial Rift, which is going to pull the enemies into the Meteor impact area. She has this one is not that great. Wind Slicer. Wind Slicer is pretty good. It has a big AoE. It deals a good amount of damage. So would I say she's great again? No. Now she's gonna drop because we have way better options. So she's gonna be average. She can perform pretty well, but on great we're gonna have characters which have more color options. Rinko is only going to farm on blue, honestly, and Sakura either green or blue, but her AoE is not massive. So let's see. The next one is gonna be Murasaki. Oh, oof. I think last time I put her on average, specifically on blue. But honestly, if she's not using blue, she's not farming. I mean, she's not going to die, never ever. But we want to clear fast the stages, and if we don't use this, what do we have? Tentacle Mine, that doesn't deal damage. Great Axe Rengenki, which locks you in place. Senpu, which it's good, but it's not going to destroy everything in the screen. So Yeah, she's suboptimal, unfortunately. She can perform. Remember, guys, every character can perform the role, and they can be very good as long as you build them properly. But I'm trying to evaluate them so that we consider how much they can offer. And if it's only one skill that can farm, it's suboptimal. Sue. Now that I know how she works, she is pretty decent. Her green skill is going to pull the enemies and then it's going to go down and deal a lot of damage. It's pretty useful. Her awakening skill tracks the enemies, which is pretty good. She also has not this one, Sendenka, which is going to track the enemies. And also the blue skill, when you have set 2, it's going to perform a range attack, which is going to do a dragon, which has a pretty good AoE. Honestly, Su is great because of the pulling effect. That's the pulling effect integrated into the skill, unlike Rinko, which needs another skill slot to use that pulling effect. So she's gonna be on great. Also, the tracking capabilities for her attacks is pretty useful. Shiranui, I think she's gonna be great because she has Rondo, which has a very big AoE. She has Yugen Goku, which although it has a small-ish AoE-ish because not everything in only these things apply damage. So not always are you going to deal with all the enemies, but normally you do, especially if they are bulky. Then we also have Getsuin. So Getsuin is very good for farming. So yeah, look at that range. It's just great. So she's gonna be going to great. Emily, I don't think we need to discuss this. She's outstanding, of course. She enables auto farming, and that's pretty useful. Then Kurenai. Going to Kurenai. She has good things. They fix Gale Slash, which is easy to use. She has Stormfang, which is amazing, similar to Su. She has a big AoE and a pulling effect. Pretty useful. No, not great. This is like really good, and this one is also pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, that's kind of it for farming. I'm going. Oh, I would like to put her beyond average, but I'm gonna put her on average. Why do I want to put her on great? Because Tornado, the awakening skill is super useful for farming, but it's only one skill. So, no. I'm gonna put her on average. Oboron. Oboron. She has lost part of her appeal because of the horrible reward to Vicious Slasher. Like, it has its uses, yes. But it was very good before. I mean, this still can be used for farming, for sure, but it is not as appealing. Weak Slasher is pretty good. The AoE is medium size. Bloodstorm is also good. Let's see. Blooming Carnage is also good. I guess I can put her on great, but barely, guys. Honestly, it hinders her capabilities, her farming capabilities, how they change her green skill. It is a shame. Asuka. Asuka. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this, but my evaluation is going to be with imagining that I am using. I don't have with her, but imagining that I'm using PvP weapons, because obviously there are weapons that are going to enhance the performance even further. Yes, so if you have the right weapon, the character is going to be beyond what I am establishing. This is the minimum that they can do. Okay, So Asuka. So Mac Impact is pretty decent for clearing waves of enemies, but the AoE, no, the AoE is fine. The fact that you need to position yourself properly is pretty demanding. Rendering Storm can be interrupted, which is unfortunate. Bomb Escape is pretty good. Dust Cyclone is pretty good. The basic enhancer is also pretty good because you can range. So honestly, and also Wind Slicer. Let me think. This, and this. Yes, I'll put her on great because just with the combination of Wind Slicer and Bomb Escape, she can clear waves of enemies pretty easily. And the last skill, Mach Punch, Rendering Storm, Dust Cyclone, those need a little bit more positioning and knowing what you're doing. Uh, it's just that the AoE of these two is too good to just disregard. Same as Oboro. I think great, but barely. Yeah, barely. Kirara. Oops, Kirara. So Kirara has Glacier Drop, which is it has been enhanced and it's pretty good, but everything else is not helping with farming. Maybe Snow Veil. I mean, yeah, it can clear waves, but you need the enemy to come to you, and sometimes they're gonna be ranged enemies, which is not nice. Frigid Edge is nice, but honestly, 11 seconds, 17 seconds, 18 seconds, no. Suboptimal. Sorry, Kirara, but the cooldowns are not helping you. Ingrid, great, average, suboptimal, let's see. So she has Dark Flame, pretty good for farming. She also has Crescent Slash, decent for farming. The thing is that you have to position yourself, but it is not as demanding as Asuka. It is super easy to land this skill. Evil Heart Blast, pretty good for farming to clear waves of enemies. Evil Flare, also pretty good. And average, only average. Yeah, unfortunately, she needs a little bit more positioning than Asuka does. No, yeah, like this. Noah, let's see. Noah basically has, I mean, this one can deal with the enemies, yes, but the AoE is not great. I mean, the AoE is good in front, not to the sides, which is unfortunate for farming. This one is super good for farming. This one is usable, but not great. And this one is good for farming. Let's see. No, I would say average. Wait a minute. I need to check one thing. Pull enemies to war character. That's really strong. That's really strong. The ability to pull the enemies in allows her to go to great. Because she also has one very important advantage over other characters, and this is the fact that she increases her size and she's going to land more hits. That's why. Astaroth, I mean, easy peasy. She's outstanding. She can just reposition pretty easily while she keeps attacking. She has the what's the name? Snake what? Let me check. Serpent Blaze, which is very good for farming, and Supernova and Hail Blaze. They can work, but they have big cooldowns, big downtime. So that's not the greatest, but you can also rely on Lava Serpent, which is pretty useful. So yeah. One thing that I didn't mention. You can use this skill on any color regardless of the fact that it has it's a pure green skill. It's just that effective. So yeah, she's outstanding. Ooh, great. You know why she's great? Because she acquired a new property after the rework, and now she is able to pierce the enemies, and that allows her to deal with waves of enemies faster with most of her attacks. So she can do this, but it's a single target attack. If she has enough damage, she can just obliterate everything. This one is super good. You just need to lure the enemies, and then you do this attack and you clear the wave. That's pretty good. This one can attack a bunch of enemies. Throw all kunais to the nearest enemies. But remember the piercing property. So you just... It's a little bit more demanding, but it's going to attack this enemy, and then it's going to do a fan behind it, attacking all other enemies. There's also Blast. Blast is pretty good. The basic enhancer is also pretty good for farming. I mean, she just has a ton of tunes. And this one too. So, yeah, she's great. No doubt about that. Shizuru. Would I say average or great? I think average. So, she has Rose Rondo. Pretty good. She has Queen's Whip. No, Queen's Whip, no. I mean, yeah, it can clear a wave of enemies, but same as Asuka. You need to position yourself properly to hit the most enemies. Sprout Garden, no. Whip, Grip, no. This one, no, because it's a line. If it was a cone, it would be better. Whip Shot is good, actually. This one, no. And the basic enhancer, kinda decent, but no. She's... barely average, actually. She has the damage, she has the potential, but I wouldn't put her beyond this point. I mean, on red, it's pretty good. And she's able to go in any color thanks to Whip Shot. But yeah, it's kind of rough. Felicia, farming capabilities. And not really. Well, I mean, she has Orochi Nagi. She has Slaying Spree, but Slaying Spree is more utility. Though it can be, how can I say it? It doesn't have good range, but it has tracking capability. So if it one hits the enemies, then it's going to go after everything else. So yeah. What else does she has? She also has a good AoE on this skill. I want to put her on average, but I think I'm gonna put her on suboptimal. Like I cannot rely, my evaluation cannot rely on only one color to say that it's good, unfortunately. Micah, outstanding. I mean, why do I need to do this? It is just obvious, guys. Death from Above, Ruthless Explosion, Carpet Bombing, Incendiary Rounds, even Megiddo Flame. Megiddo Flame has the disadvantage that the AoE is not that great compared to the other skills, but it's still pretty decent as long as the enemies come in front of you, and it can deal devastating damage. So yeah, she's just great. Rin. So Rin, she has the basic enhancer, which makes the basics pretty good. She has Volt Rush, she has Chain Bolt, but it's demanding because you need to launch it properly. Bolt Whip, the AO is not big enough, God. And this one, well, this one is actually good. Only these three. Only those three. Is that good enough for great? Yeah, it's good enough for great. Because of the AoE of these two in particular. The basic enhancer can be interrupted, which is unfortunate, but for normal mobs, it's not going to be a problem. Sora. Let me think. So Sora has the Fox Arrow, which deals good damage, but the AoE is just a cylinder, a very thin cylinder. Not that thin, but a thin when farming, you know? This one is pretty good for farming, since it's similar to Tokiko, it has the piercing capability. This one is also good, but it's pure colors. This one is good. Average. Because the AoE is not good enough, and you need positioning. That's the thing, that she needs a lot of positioning, but the AoE can be just usable enough. Anna Rose, I think she's great because she has. Why is she great? She has Rymax, for example. She has Darkness also. She has no Madosen. Oh well, Madosen, yeah, also. But it is straight attack, which isn't that great. But she has Devour. So Devour, Darkness, and Rymax. Yeah, great. Momochi Nagi. Momochi Nagi. I mean, she has some strong points like Sword Dance. She has Flutter. She has Sword Style. Oh my god. Should I put her on Outstanding? No, I'll put her on Great, because she is great. Definitely, no doubt about that. What about Aina? Aina is Outstanding. You know what, guys? Aina, I didn't know, but she has just such good AoEs. Suicide Drone, pretty good. Where is it? Bullet Storm, also pretty good. Bullet Dance. No, Bullet Dance, no. Which was it? This one, no. It's Bulletstorm. That's the one that I'm thinking. Bulletstorm, Suicide Drone, and even though it's not the best AoE, it just eliminates the enemies very quickly, and it has a good cooldown, a very short cooldown. Fastest Shot. These three skills are going to allow you to farm pretty easily, guys. And also we have Quad Burst. I almost forgot about Quad Burst. I never used this one, but it has a good AoE, so definitely worth using. So yeah, she... I mean, you might think that she is not that great, but trust me, the what's the name again? Bulletstorm? Yeah, Bulletstorm is just the best for farming, honestly. Then we have Saika. I mean, she can perform farming, sure. But let's see. What does she offer? Oh yeah, Quick Stomp is a pretty good skill for farming. You can use it if you want. Calamity Over is also pretty good. Moon Assault is decent, not good. Just decent. Gale, no, not that great. But a Spin Kick is okay. Shadowless Kick, no, that's a single target skill. Hit Kick, yeah, Hit Kick is okay. And Hurricane Kick is also okay. Unfortunately, she's going to fall into average. Though I would say she's high on average. Why? Because her thing is that she's melee, and I mean melee. There's only like one skill that has good AoE. I mean, in front of you, like a couple more steps beyond your face. And that's the thing with all of these skills. This one, yeah, it progresses, it advances, but this one, you stay in place, and this you stay in place, this you stay in place, but it pulls the enemy, so that's why it's so useful. So, yeah, that's the problem with Micah. She needs to be in front of the enemies to take advantage of her AoE. unlike other characters which just launching the skill, they're going to hit whatever is in front of you. So yeah, that's why she's average. Now, I mean, another auto farmer, obviously outstanding. Eleanor, mid-range attacker. That's kinda good, but also bad because you need to position yourself properly. That's an issue. A reflective ray is super useful for farming. Acid rain, very useful for farming. Oh yeah, Maelstrom pulls the enemies, very useful for farming. Stampede, also useful for farming. Spirit Blast, no, not that great. Let's see. No, not that great. Geyser Burst, useful for farming actually because of the decent AoE. So I'll put her on great. She's not outstanding because of her mid-range role. That's the issue. If she was long range, she would be outstanding. That's the thing. Heaviko. Well, she does have a couple of skills that help her farm pretty good. And that's gonna be Octopus Windmill and Octopus Field. But other than that, what does she offer? Oh, well, she has the basic enhancer, but it is not that great because it's only an AoE in front of you. I would like to put her on average, but I'll put her on suboptimal. I'm trying to be very... I'm putting a high bar here so that you do not get disappointed on the roll whenever you try these characters. Spinel. Okay, Spinel. I think she's gonna be great. Let's see. For Spinel we have Boulder Quake. We also have Rampage. We have the basic enhancer. And though those are the only skills, they are just that good. This AoE is gigantic. This skill is pretty fast and you can abuse it. And also in red, it's just devastating. And the basic enhancer, look at that AoE, it's just disgustingly good. So yeah, she's great. By virtue of three skills, well, when they are that impactful, I guess that's it. Now, let's see. Single target, medium AoE, which we can take advantage of on farming, but the long animation is also kind of not what you want. Oh yeah, she has the basic enhancer for dealing with waves of enemies, so we have two things here. Late Bloomer, no. Storm. Storm is fine actually. I know it doesn't deal the most damage, but it pulls the enemies while dealing damage, which is important. Average? Yeah, unfortunately just average. And barely because of the size of the green skill. It should be bigger. Lapis. My god. So Lapis is a supporter, but first of all, so she... what are we going to be evaluating here? So we have... that single target. This one can be used for farming. Yeah, no debate on that part. This one can be used for farming on what color was it? On green. No. Yeah, you can use this for farming and it's pretty good. And Moral Boost is super good for dealing damage on red. But let's see. I want to put her on average, but I'll put her on suboptimal. I mean, red really enables a lot, but blue, as you may see, Spear Barrage doesn't have the biggest AoE. It has a good AoE, but it's going to attack certain enemies, not all of them at the same time. Or maybe yes, but no. Unfortunately, suboptimal. For farming, that is. Then, and remember guys, like the fact that they can doesn't mean that they are easy to, and you need sometimes to do a very specific build so that they perform, so that they excel at as a certain role. As I mentioned, red lapis can farm super easily, but let's see. Phantasma, oof. Phantasma has this skill, which is excellent for farming. She has Succubus Whisper, also very good for farming. God, is she? I mean, only 2 skills and she is already convincing me. Let's see. With 2 skills, I'll put her on great. Because tracking capabilities on a pure color skill, that's why. My god. And not only that, the fact that she has the circle, Succubus Whisper, and that you can use it on any color, and the circle is pretty big, so yeah, she can deal with a ton of enemies. And I'm not taking into consideration the other skills, which have a medium-sized AoE, but thanks to her leader skill, she's going to deal with the enemies pretty quickly by dealing damage with whatever skill. So yeah, she is great. Francis. God, let's see. Grenade, hard catch, wailing whip. Oh god. No. Let's see. Comparing with these ones, because hard catch it is good. Grenade is usable, not the greatest, but usable. Raging shooting is also usable. Let's see. No, that's unusable. Flame Flickle is going to give you a ton of damage. Demon Render, the basic enhancer. Average or suboptimal? Average or suboptimal? No, average. I mean, you can use a pure color skill and raging shooting. That's good enough. And unfortunately, I mean, you can use Anigurabashi so that you enable the tipsy roll, but if you're not using this, that's pretty annoying. So, yeah, just average. Oh, Natsu, Inagenatsu. Inagenatsu has a pretty good AoE over here. She does an explosion, if I'm not mistaken, when she has Soul Art, and that can deal with a ton of enemies, but requires positioning. That's the issue. Hole punch, no, single target attack. Power release. Thunderclap. Yeah, Thunderclap, and this. Average. Only on, I mean, you can do it on green or blue, but Thunderclap is carrying this character on the farming department, honestly. If not for that skill, she would be suboptimal, even though she has a very good skill on Smoke Fan. So, yeah, average. I think she's, let me remember. Not here. I'll put her over here because I cannot. So, let's see. I think it's great because she has Shindara, which is very good. She has double team, which is going to help you tremendously to just deal with the enemies. Let's see. The AoE is decent for this one. And since you have a charging animation, the enemies are going to gather and you're going to deal with them. This is pretty bad for farming. Mirror image, no. Yeah, that's also pretty good. The AoE is just wide enough for use for anyone to use this. So yeah, she she's great. She's great. So that's it, guys, for this tier list. Now let's go to the next one, to the one where we're evaluating. Well, before we do that, basically, as you can see, these either have tracking capabilities, auto farming capabilities, or big AoEs. These one have big AoEs on some of their skills, which you can combo like Asuka. You can do the perfect evade and then do the hold evade so that you do the bombs while dealing damage with the wind slices. No, has pulling. Yeah, like there's a ton of pulling. There's some who have piercing capabilities, and when they don't have that, and they just have their attacks, and they do have a good amount of AoE and damage, but that's only it. That's all they offer. They're gonna be over here. And when they are single targeted or they over rely on one specific color, they're gonna be over here. So, time to go with normal content. Normal content, well, let's say bonus and tower. I say normal because you can crit on that, but it's not like dailies. So, Asagi's outstanding. Super simple. Why is she outstanding? Kojinka. As simple as that. Kojinka is just that strong. It is strong, but it isn't the strongest thing in the world. And Asagi has good damage whenever you use Shunshinka. That's pretty good. She has HP recovery with this, which is super useful. Let's see. This one is not that great, and this one is also not that great. But Munika, thanks to her huge speed reduction and defense reduction, is excellent. So yeah. Let's see. And also, this one is also pretty good as a buffing skill. Sakura. Great. She's great. Why is she great? She has healing with Shadow Spin, which is pretty useful. She has a snare on a ton of skills. She has a ton of utility on Shadow Fling. She has a lot of damage, and I mean a ton with these two, and also even this one. What's the issue? The fact that her role is to ensnare, which means the enemy can keep attacking. That's the issue. That's what's prevent her from being outstanding. If she had like mind control similar to a Boro, like I don't want to say mind control, like, something that stops the enemy from attacking and also from moving, she would be great. She would be outstanding, but she isn't. Suboptimal. Why suboptimal? So she has two good skills on her hit. Rayun, which is going to heal a ton, and Rajudan, which is going to destroy the super armor of the enemy and deal a ton of damage. Everything else is pretty bad. Particularly on the command department. Look at this. She has to launch the enemy. I mean, she can also hit the enemy when it's on the floor, but God, is that bad. Starting with the wrong foot. This one. Terrible AoE, and it's a skill that you want to launch when you're far away from the enemy. If the enemy closes in, if they come to you, the skill might just not hit and disappear, which is awful. And just like that, this is usable for sure, but a counter on the awakening skill, God. So look at this command, horrible command. Yeah, even if it's kind of cool, it is not that useful. And the long command also makes it difficult to actually do. So, yeah. Unfortunately, she is just suboptimal. Average. Why average? Last time I think I put her on great, and she does have a ton of multi-hits which can shred the enemy, and good damage on blue for sure. But you know what? super armor. That's the issue. You're gonna be running and repositioning yourself, and it's pretty annoying. Um, and if you don't have the limited weapon, you're gonna have troubles actually breaking that super armor. And the animations are pretty long for her basics, so I would like to put her higher, but she's just average. She does have a role. She can break super armor. She can control the enemy with the pull. She can do a ton of things, but she's lacking. And I think she doesn't have healing, by the way. That's another thing. Um, Outstanding, obviously, because of her her green build. And let's say that you don't play the green one. Even so, she can heal. She can heal with blue with this skill. She can heal with any skill, with any color with this skill. She can also heal. No, that's on green too. So, she has a very oppressive speed reduction on Tentacle Anchor and Tentacle Mine. She has healing on this one. Reduce damage shaken. You can become tankier. Actually, you can use this combo on red to just gain damage reduction. Then you counter, and the damage is increased, so you're gonna heal even more. So yeah, she has a ton on her favor. Even when she's lacking the leader skill, she's just that good. So she's stronger than she was before. Unfortunately, she lacks HP recovery. Honestly, that's the issue. She has the damage. She has the damage for sure. And she is not going to be interrupted because she can gain the super armor, but she's just one healing skill away from having the great status. That's all I'm gonna say. Pretty unfortunate. Let's see. Su. No. Shiranui. Shiranui has great healing. As long as you have the level 81, you're gonna use Rondo. But if not, you can use Senko, which is going to give you healing. So yeah, and this has a huge AoE. She has decent AoE, and she can clear waves of enemies. She has a clone, which can increase your DPS. Would I say great? Would I say great? Well, she also has the advantage of being able to equip a VR weapon, yeah. So let's see. Yeah, she's great. She's great. Emily, outstanding. So when she's doing solo content, she's gonna have a little bit more trouble. You need to build her. You need to do something specific. But honestly, you go blue, you don't die. As simple as that. You want to use zero system because you don't want to push the button the whole time. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Or you can use the this and just forget about the basics and rely on other skills. She has a ton of damage on red and green, as long as you break her properly. And this deals with the waves of enemies super great, and this deals with bulky enemies pretty easily as long as you crit. She has healing, by the way. She has CC. She has a speed reduction. So yeah, she's outstanding. Not to mention the sheer variety of weapons she has got. Outstanding. Why is she outstanding? She has a ton of healing. Number one, thanks to Deflective Wind and Gale Slash. She has this amazing skill, Stormfang, which has a ton of effects, which is pretty useful. She also has God's Eye, which is useful on standard content. Let's see. Yeah, that's basically it. And also, her passive is going to increase your DPS. So yeah, she's outstanding. Outstanding. Yeah, mind control is just that impressive, that impactful, because the enemy is not going to do anything as long as you go red with these two. Well, let's say that you don't go red. You still have hypnosis seal, and you can use mind control on blue. You can use mind control on green. You can even go with these three, to combining colors and having three sources of mind control. She also has this skill, which is pretty strong. So, yeah, it is just very easy to put her on outstanding. Um, let's see. Ah, I think average. Let me just evaluate this. She has the damage. That's There's no debate about that. But the positioning. She doesn't have healing on top of that. She has this, which shreds the enemy's defense. It's super useful. Bomb escape reduces the enemy's speed on blue. She has a ton of good things. But what's the issue? Without taking into consideration the weapons, she feels lackluster. That's the issue. Because she doesn't have healing by herself, because she has to do things right, or if not, you're going to have to wait for the cooldowns that you didn't deal damage. That's the thing with her. Like, she can be just devastating and melt the enemies, similar to Sue. But God, is the healing important. Kirara. Kirara. For challenging content, I think average. She suffers the same problem. She doesn't have HP recovery. But this AoE is super good. The freezing is useful. Reduce the enemy's damage. No. Reduce the enemy's defense. Yeah, that's pretty useful. It's a counter, but Kirara is going to take hits. Frigid Zone is very useful. Blossoming Fog is very useful. The basic enhancer. One of the basic enhancers, which is actually useful for challenging content. Though she is slow, the ability to hit a ton of times on that last hit is very useful. Snow Leopard pretty good. All of these are pretty good for dealing with the enemy. Unfortunately, you have with all of these you have to be in front of the enemy. Basically, the only exception would be Frigid Edge, but still, it's a straight line. Keep that in mind. And this one is also pretty good. Yeah, would like to put her higher, but HP recovery, that's the issue. Ingrid, I think she can go higher even though she lacks HP recovery. Dark Flame is super good to deal a ton of hits to the enemy. Evil Bloom, pretty unfortunate. Like, it's a strong skill, but it locks you in place. And we do have a way to cancel it, yes. Which is unfortunate that you have to use two skill slots so that you can do that combo properly. Piercing Dragon, pretty good skill. This one is also good, this one is also good. The basic enhancers are horrible. Thanks, Gremory, for ruining the best basic enhancer we had in the game. Let's see. This one is also pretty bad. Is the Canceller. This one... It's another one. It's also a pretty good buffing skill. That's what it is. Deals a ton of damage and it's super great. And the AoE is usable for sure. Why is she on great and not on average, despite her lack of HP? Because her AoEs are not that hard to land compared to Asuka. She has a ton more attack than Sue. And basically that allows her to deal with the enemy faster. That's the thing. She can just delete the enemy. Let's see. The next one is going to be Noah. I mean, a blue build can just deal with anything because she has two sources of HP recovery. The green one is pretty aggressive and can deal with whatever. And you can put a healing supporter on a green build. It has a ton of skills that inflict debilite, which is going to reduce the healing of the enemy. And it also has penetration, natural penetration on the leader skill. I guess great. She has a ton of pros to take into consideration. So yeah, even though there are disadvantages, like using her on green is not going to give you natural healing, but she has a ton of damage. Astaroth outstanding. It's just too easy to use. God. Um, Beginners might not think that she's easy to use because she doesn't deal enough damage at the beginning, but the moment she hits 75, she's gonna be fine. And the more things you add um, to her equipment, she's going to outperform everything. Let's see. Tokiko. Yeah. I think so. Maybe I just need to confirm one thing. Tokiko. Let's see. Oof. Now I remember she doesn't have healing. Well, great. She's lacking in the healing department, but she is able to deal with the enemies thanks to her piercing capabilities. With the waves of enemies, she shreds the enemy's defense. Well, increases your attack by a ton when inflicting the defense reduction. Her defenses reduction are just amazing. Her skills are pretty good for dealing with the enemies. This one. Each in a different way, but the best one is a Squall. Taimanin Blast is amazing also. So yeah, no debate about that. I was thinking about putting her on outstanding, but the lack of HP recovery prevents her from going here. What would be good? Great. I think great. Let's just confirm that very quickly. So. Shizuru. Red is obviously very easy to use. She has a ton of good things on the kit that she can use. She reduces the defense of the enemy by a ton. She increases her damage. She does a ton of things. She has healing, just because. That's also pretty useful. Unfortunately, isn't not the best kind of healing, but it is healing. And it has utility on top of that. Not only the HP recovery, but also the speed reduction. The AoE of the basics is pretty decent. Yeah, she's great. She's great. Even though her other colors aren't as strong as red, she can still perform pretty well on green. And blue is kind of niche. We need a buff to Seed Bomb. Felicia is great. Maybe less than great. Let's see. So, oh yeah, she has a ton of utility to begin with. So she can cure herself on any color. That's good. She can cure even more on blue. She can cure on green. She can deal a ton of damage. She can destroy the enemies as long as she crits. She can slow the enemy. Yeah, she has a ton of utility. So even though she might not deal the most damage, she's just balanced enough. She has healing, she has utility, she has damage. Depending on how you build her, she can do a ton of things. So she's great. Micah, outstanding or great? Has she dropped? Let me think. She has the damage. That's super easy. But Incendiary Round, Death from Above, Megiddo. Yeah, the triple color are okay. Ruthless Explosion is also okay. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna put her on outstanding, but let me tell you this: she is either outstanding or great, but it highly depends on your account. Because if you don't have enough damage, you're not going to melt the enemies and you're not going to interrupt their actions by virtue of breaking their super armor. If you have enough damage, she's going to be able to break the super armor and she's going to stop the enemies from attacking and she's just going to delete them. So, Her capabilities allow her to be this strong, even with pit sticks, with PvP weapons. But you need to reach like the higher end, just so that you know. Let's see who's next. Rin. At least she's gonna be great. She has HP recovery on green, and you only need the main green. She has a unique buff that reduces the defense of the enemy, or well, increases your damage. She has good AoE. She deals a ton of damage with these two. She has bolt hook, which which reduces the speed of the enemy, and also reduces the speed of the enemy. Yeah, great. Oh, Sora. Poor Sora. Let's see. So she can perform. She has healing on red thanks to this skill, and on blue thanks to this one. She can deal devastating damage with God's Maw. She can clear waves of enemies with this skill. She can increase on her damage with this skill on green. This skill is actually pretty useful and pretty strong. This one is also pretty useful. Okay, great. Okay. Like, I barely consider her to be great. She needs a little bit more damage and better AoE for some of her skills. But thanks to the utility she's packing and the fact that she's a ranged attacker, she gets to the great status. Woof, God. Anna Rose, we know that she has the damage for sure in any color, and she has HP recovery or speed reduction. She has a great basic enhancer. She has Devour, which heals her, and she has the action bound, so that you crit and you gain a ton of. Oh god, would I say outstanding? No, I would say great. Like, she's really, really, really strong. I think the healing. I mean, if Mike is here because of the sheer damage, even though she doesn't have healing, the fact that she has that much damage, well, not maybe the same, but she has a ton of damage and also healing, allows her to be on outstanding. Oof. Oh, God. I want her to be on outstanding too, but. God. She's gonna be on great. Why not outstanding when she's so good? Because some of her skills have just these awkward effects. Poison? Groggy? Damage increase? Okay, the damage increase is fine. Immediately after enemy attack. Ugh, horrible activation condition. Triple color skill. Reduce the skill cooldown on 5 seconds? Why do I need that? I mean... And also it's going to put me in front of the enemy, which is not always an advantage. Moonshade is good for dealing damage and activating effects. This is also good. Good. Burn? Where did that come from? I mean, explosions, I guess. But burn is not the best effect. Speed increase is very, very good. But if she was a little bit more, let's say, that she focused on doing actually something with her debuffs or buffs, she would be higher. She would be outstanding, but she doesn't. Aina average. I mean, she has damage, yeah, but that's about it. And she's a mid-range attacker to long-range attacker, depending how you build her. So um, yeah, I mean, she has the damage. But that's it, guys. That's all she offers. That's the only reason why she's not higher, because she doesn't offer something other than damage. Oh, um, yeah, outstanding. Outstanding. No debate on that part. So, what does she has? Why do I put her on outstanding? This is pretty good on normal content. On VR, it's kind of lacking, but on normal content, this can clear waves of enemies. Takeover allows you to disarm the enemy, which is extremely useful. Spin kick is your healing skill on blue, and this one is your healing skill on green. Calamity over gives you a ton of damage or speed. Gale kick. I mean, the damage is fine, and also the knockdown is also fine. This is just devastating. This is pretty good for dealing with enemies when they are coming to you. This is also good, exactly the same as this, but you move forward. So yeah, disarm is just that strong. She has healing on 2 colors. She has a ton of damage. Trust me, and I mean a ton. Even if you don't use this weapon, she deals a good amount of damage. So yeah, she's able to be outstanding. Perhaps I'm a little bit generous with these characters, but I know what they do. Oh, guess what? Outstanding. Why is she outstanding? Because she has healing, first of all. You can keep the auto farming skill. Yes, you can. But it is not necessary for challenging content. For for challenging content. This one is excellent to deal with waves of enemies and also to deal a ton of damage. Arrow of Light has a ton of utility. Bombs away, super useful. Natural Light for healing. God, all of her skills are just disgustingly good. They have a ton of utility in different ways. And probably this is the weakest skill from her kit. Everything else is just great. Guardian Charge, Tag Team, Knockdown, Touchdown, Arrow Light, Bombs Away. Yeah, pretty easy. Great. Or maybe a rush. Let's see. So pretty useful to deal a ton of damage. Pretty useful to deal a ton of damage and also with the enemy, which gives you a little bit of utility. Geyser Burst, pretty useful. Maelstrom, useful. Not useful. Not on challenging content, I mean. Spirit Light, not useful. Oh, and she has... do I put her on? Yeah, no, she's great. Like, I was doubting maybe she was average, but no. I mean, she has immunity to range attacks. That's pretty strong. Heavy, oof. Just average. She has her niches. She has some things that she can do. For example, Octopus Field is just great. Octopus Choke, also pretty useful. Angling is nice. These 3 skills carry her. Like, you're not gonna use the 3 of them on one build, but they have just enough utility to put her on average. If not, she would be suboptimal. Outstanding. Great. Let's see. I mean, she has the damage, but she doesn't have healing. She has a super strong passive leader skill. She has defense reduction, pretty good defense reduction. She has a ton of speed increase. I'll put her on great just because she doesn't have the healing. If she had the healing, she would be outstanding. No debate on that part. Average or great. Let me check. So she blue is just devastating, as well as red, and green is whatever. She has healing. She has a good amount of multi-hit. No, she's great. She's great. Not outstanding, but great. Lapis. Lapis, 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 lapis. Outstanding or great? Outstanding or great? What is it? Let's put her on great right now. Because we are evaluating content when you go where you go solo, guys. So, I mean, she is always going to perform. She's always going to survive because she has the healing. I'm just thinking. The damage that she performs on green and blue. The damage that she performs on green and blue prevents her from getting too outstanding. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, she can be deadly on red, but well, unfortunately she can. This is super easy. She goes here. She has the healing. She has the damage. She has the tankiness. She has everything. She has permanent defense reduction, even to enemies who are immune to debuffs. So, yeah. Pretty good. We don't even need to check her. Suboptimal. She's barely scratching average. She has healing, yeah. She has a good damage. No. She has good damage, yes. But that's about it. That's all she has. Like, everything is not, like, busted enough. Suboptimal. She skyrockets if she has the limited weapon, just so that you know, guys. But if she doesn't, she's over here. Natsu. Ooh. So, Natsu has an upper hand compared to other characters because both her SR weapons are excellent. And she has a crit weapon. I haven't think of that before when doing my evaluation, but for the most part, it doesn't change that much because, I mean, she has a crit one. Where is she? She has a crit one. So, yeah. This one don't have a critical weapon. But yeah, Natsu has a critical weapon and that's pretty useful. She has the healing, no matter the color. She can ignore some amount of damage incoming. She has super armor on demand. She has disarm. Oh my god, is she strong. No, she is outstanding, guys. She's outstanding. And so is what's the name? Azusa. Why is Azusa outstanding? Because of the damage she has. Her attack is just gigantic. It's enormous. And the fact that she can summon something that is going to keep the enemy busy and also deal damage is pretty good. This deals a ton of damage, this deals a ton of damage, this has a ton of utility on red and blue. She has healing, though you don't want to use her healing, honestly. This skill is also pretty useful. So yeah. That's a good thing, guys. That the thing that you see here is that there's few characters who I consider to be just average or suboptimal, and that's great. That means that Gremory is making characters stronger or useful enough. They have a niche, they have a role, they have enough utility to perform well. Let's see. So, the last one is for BR. BR. This is completely different because of how BR works. But I can tell you beforehand that many of these are going to be on the same spots. Asagi, it's outstanding. No debate on that part because Asagi is going to be a tank, she's going to be a debuffer, she's going to offer a ton of things. She's just amazing. Sakura. Sakura, Sakura, Sakura. Would I put her on outstanding? The thing is that her snare has more value on VR than it does on standard content, because there's multiple characters in play. She also has healing with the Twinkle Riser. She's able to just what's the name? Disarm the enemy. But no, she's great. What's the issue? The issue are her pure color skills. She doesn't deal enough damage with those. She has the utility, but she doesn't have the damage. Let's see. Oh, Yukigase. Guess what? Yeah, she's going over here, suboptimal. Pretty unfortunate for her. She has the multi-hits, she has the HP recovery, and that's it. That's all she has. Average? Let's see. She has the damage. She has the multi-hits. Yeah, lack of super armor. Lack of super armor put her over here. That's the issue. Obviously, she comes here. She's gonna go green always, but she can go any color if you want it. Average. She has the damage, she has the multi-hit, she has the armor, the super armor. But she doesn't offer much utility. And she doesn't have her own healing. Average. Yeah, other than being able to heal and deal some amount of damage, she doesn't offer much to the team. So she only goes here. Pretty weird, because she's strong, she has a VR weapon, and that puts her higher, but we're not taking that into consideration. We are just taking into consideration what she can do. Is she can heal and deal damage, and that's it. Pretty unfortunate. Outstanding, because she performs multiple roles depending on your equipment. She can do a ton of things. She also has a VR weapon. I mean, it's Emily, the most busted character. Outstanding, the damage is just amazing. Her utility is pretty decent. She has healing. Outstanding, mind control. Need I say more than that? God, I want her to be beyond this. Let me check Asuka. Asuka. What do you offer on VR, Asuka? Mac Punch. No, average, barely average. Let's see. Kill 'em all missiles on green. Enemy speed reduction on blue. Enemy speed reduction on blue. Enemy speed reduction on blue, but you don't want to take a hit. No, the best I can do for her is average. Pretty unfortunate. The weapons change this character completely. It is really, really unfortunate. Keep in mind, we are using, well, we are theorizing that we use PvP equipment here. So she can go beyond average, yes. But for people to just use this right out of the bag, it's not going to perform that great. Let's see. Kirara. Ooh, Kirara actually, I think she's gonna be going up because she has a ton of utility. She has Frigid Zone, she has good AoE, she has Freeze, she has defense reduction, speed reduction, enemy damage reduction, enemy defense reduction. She has good AoEs with these two and good single target damage with this one. Yeah. Great. She has a glaring weakness, which I'm not gonna put her on average, but she has a glaring weakness. She doesn't have HP recovery, but we can compensate that. That's the thing. And her utility is pretty good. And the damage is not that bad, actually. Great. Just by virtue of the damage, honestly. Like, she doesn't have utility, and that's why she's not outstanding. But the damage is pretty solid. Great. Her utility is not good enough for VR. The enemy has super armor, the pulling is not that great with that. She does have penetration. She has HP recovery reduction with what's the name? Devour? No, it's not Devour. It's Debilate. But the enemies in VR don't heal themselves, so we don't use that. So yeah, just as a damage dealer, it's fine. And the penetration is really impactful on VR, so that's why she's over here. Outstanding. I mean, ton of damage, a ton of mobility, pretty easy to use. She can buff herself, by the way, on green. Outstanding on VR. Tokiko is disgustingly good. Ever seen? I mean, she already had her role as a debuffer, but the renewal really increased her performance, and she's just great. And she can be a damage dealer on blue too, by the way. So, excellent debuffer, extremely aggressive debuffer, and also decent damage dealer. Okay, I'm gonna put her on great. She's gonna go down because we have Tokiko, number 1, and number 2, because she only goes red. Red is extremely strong, but she's not offering much if she's not reducing the defense of the enemy. That's the thing. Felicia. Great. What's the issue? That we have another healer. And that her healing works on a debuff. And the characters who want healing need to heal, need to hit the enemy. That's also an issue. But her healing is very, very useful. That's why she's so great. Yeah. She's outstanding. She's gonna deal a ton of damage, no matter what build you use. Some of them work better. The red one is amazing for stages like Queen Canalo and LWS Squad. If the stage is small, you want to go blue so that you use Megiddo Flame, or maybe green so that you use the... I forgot the name, but the green skill. Let's see. Incendiary Round, yeah. She has damage, a ton of damage, and a little bit of utility, which puts her on outstanding. Oh, oof, average. Really unfortunate. Why is she average? Super armor. That's the issue. She doesn't have enough super armor. She has the utility. She has the healing. She has not enough damage. Yeah, unfortunately she's lacking in the damage department, which is a shame, honestly. Yeah, the lack of super armor and the lack of damage for what VR needs prevents her from going higher. God. Suboptimal. Why is she suboptimal? She has healing on red and blue. I already mentioned that. She can increase her damage by a ton on green. And she crits on green, by the way. So, not the best thing for VR. Her utility needs you to hit this character. The enemy must hit this character to activate the utility, which is awful. This skill is actually pretty decent for VR. but honestly, she's lacking. She's lacking for a range attacker on BR. She can be used. She can perform. She can deal a ton of damage, yes, if you build her properly. But anyone can be effective if you build them properly. That's the thing. Let's see. I'm just trying to say, do a minimalistic run. Use the weakest supporters you have and the weakest weapon you have, and compare the performance. And you're gonna see that Sora isn't doing good enough. She might survive, but that's it. And we need to beat the enemy before the timer runs out. Anne Rose. Just great. She has the damage, she has the healing, she has some utility, but honestly, it's more about damage and healing than anything. The same can be said about Momochi Nage, exactly as Anne Rose. She has damage and healing and multi-hit, which can be very good depending on what we're doing with the character. Aina. She has damage. And that's it. But damage is good enough on BR. But to go over here, you need to build her extremely aggressive. If not, she's gonna drop to average, just so that you know. Psycha. She drops to great. Why does she drop to great? Because of the animation of her healing skill in green, Moon Assault. It can be interrupted, that's the issue. Quake Stomp is not that useful on BR. Shadowless Kick is very useful. Hurricane not that much, and neither is it Hit Kick, which you can use, but it is not Shadowless Kick. Takeover is extremely useful, yeah. She has damage, she has healing, but she's not as effective as she is as in standard content. Shisui, I mean, she deals she deals a good amount of damage, and she's tanky and she can heal. So yeah, she's outstanding. Great. Why great? Because of the damage, and that's it. Her utility with wet is not that impressive, honestly. It is a shame. She honestly doesn't do much on other colors. On BR, she always goes red, so yeah, that's a thing. She's just average, unfortunately. Like, she has a couple good things, like Tentacle Angling and Octopus Field, yeah. And also Octopus Choke. One more time, these skills are pretty useful. The utility is nice. But that's about it. And also she's lacking in the damage department, so she just gets to average. Spinel, outstanding. Outstanding, guys. Why is she outstanding? She's buffing the whole party, number one. She is going to heal, no, not going to heal, she's going to deal a lot of damage on blue. She has good AoE on green. She can reduce the defense of the enemy. She can do a ton of things. She's just amazing. Lina. Is she outstanding or just great? Let's analyze it. So, she's basically the same as Spinel on blue. And we always say that Spinel on blue is good. She can reduce the defense of the enemy. She can do a ton of multi-hit. She has damage increase, defense reduction. She's super fast attacking. I'll put her on great. What is she missing? Utility. A little bit of utility. That's what she's missing. She does have some amount of utility, but she doesn't have the leader skill. That's what's preventing her from going over here. Outstanding. The best healer in the game. That's why. outstanding. She can heal, she can deal a lot of damage. She is also very good for clearing the mobs on green. She reduces the defense of the enemy. Super simple. Guess what? Francis is still here. By virtue of not using the weapon. It's just that. Again, she skyrockets to outstanding if she's using the weapon. The limited weapon. Outstanding. You may not see this, but Natsu has a ton of utility. Just because of her leader skill, she can use supporters that require you to debuff the enemy, let's say a Susune or a Kirara. Those give you damage increase as long as the enemy is debuff, and you can easily debuff the enemy just naturally. And you can also use supporters that require you to be buffed to gain benefit, like Netsu. Who else? Let me see. What else does she offer? She has healing, of course. She has a good healing in the form of Smoke Fang, but also she has Restoration Smoke to heal the party. She nullifies damage with Smoke Cloud. She has Thunderclap to deal damage and deal with the mobs. Let's see. Not this one. This skin is not that great. I mean, you might use it on BR, but she's better as a supporter. She also has Drifting Illusion and she has Power Release to gain super armor. So yeah, she's more of a supporter, similar to Lapis, but for human teams. And she does different things. And lastly, Azusa. Similar to Kurenai, she's here just because of her sheer damage. It's extremely good. Even when she's not critting, because obviously there's the crit penalty, she is dealing a ton of damage with Shindara. So yeah, let's just obliterate the enemy with these two. And if you go red, God, if you go red, she's just disgusting because she can increase her damage tremendously. Yeah. So, well, guys, she's gonna go over here. So let's compare the three. So, farmers, there's few outstanding farmers because what you want to do is just stop thinking and just push one button or repeatedly click one button or don't do anything at all. That's why we have these characters. These ones have great AoEs and they can be used in many colors and they have good combos that you can do to just clear the waves of enemies. These ones, you need to manually farm and position yourself properly, and maybe you can only use them on certain colors. And these ones are mostly single target or only have one good farming color, which is why they are here. Usually most of these have bad AoEs, like Murasaki has just one good AoE skill, the other ones are single target basically, and not to mention Yukikaze. Here, most of these are gonna be easy to use solo, but the further we drop, the more difficult it becomes because you get interrupted or you don't have healing or you don't do enough because you do have the damage but maybe not enough damage. And yeah, well, unfortunate this too. It is great to see that most of the characters are either on the outstanding or great category rather than average or suboptimal, because that means that, as I mentioned previously, Gremory has been working a lot on rebalancing them so that they are effective. And maybe not for every single scenario, but for most scenarios. And yeah, What are we missing here? Oh, Tokiko. Yeah. Tokiko is yeah, she was lacking the HP recovery here, but here we compensate by having a healer, so it doesn't really matter. Or having healing supporters that heal the whole party. Uh, yeah, that's why. And Shiranui drop because she doesn't offer much other than damage, which is a shame. Like, she has enough damage over here, but she doesn't on VR. Unless you're fighting demons with the VR weapon, but that's kind of specific. Yeah. Like, most of the picks over here have a ton of damage. No, these ones have a lot of damage and utility. A lot of utility. These ones have decent damage and decent utility and also healing and are balanced in some way. These ones have damage but are prone to interruption. You have to position yourself properly, and these ones lack in the AoE and in their combos. So yeah, well, what do you think about this tier list, guys? Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm really curious if you agree or disagree. Probably there's gonna be disagreements, of course, which is fine. But please justify your answers. And remember that we're doing an evaluation here, taking into consideration that the characters are equipped with PvP weapons. Maybe SR weapons, but only that. Nothing special, nothing particular. That's why Asuka has been on average on all three. No, she's great on farming, but she's average on challenging content, on tower, bonus, and also VR. So, with that consideration, let me know what changes you would do to this tier list. Where would you put certain characters? Why do you evaluate them that way? And I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!